We're learning a new Masechta Makos, which is a hemshech to Masechta Sanhedrin, which is a hemshech really to the last, is second to the last Pedic. Elohein Hanechanakim, really, it's supposed to be the last Pedic, according to the Yesayis. So this is a hemshech, and we're going to see soon in the Gemara how it really is a hemshech. Zag the Gemara, Zag the Mishnah. How do the Eidim become Zevimim? Says Gemara Meidin on the Mishnah plainly, if Eidim testified about a person who is now a Kohen Kosher, that Shu ben Gerusha ben Chalutza, that he's a son of a Gerusha, two Eidim came and testified that they remember that when his mother got married, she was already divorced. They still remember her getting divorced, and then married a Kohen, so he's a Chalois Paslikun, or they testified that they remember how she was a Chalutza and then got married to the Kohen, and he's really a Chalal. And then these Eidim who testified about seeing how the mother got divorced and then married the father who was a Kohen, say, how could you say you were there at that time? You were with us that same day, that same time, in another place. You couldn't have seen it. In such a case, if they were found to be Zevimim, the first Eidim, Ein Eidim Yasa Zeh Ben Gerusha Ben Chalutza. We don't say that these Eidim who were caught to be, who were Muzam, because if they were Koyanim themselves, the Eidim, that they should also become a Ben Gerusha Ben Chalutza, be Tachtov in his place, meaning they should become Chalolim. Rather, Elaloi Kabayim, he gets Malchus. Next case, meeting on the Bishop playing the issue Chayv Likleis, two Eidim testified they had seen how Reuben killed Shimon b'Shegeg, and he's Chayv Golus, and then they were found to be Zevimim. Two Eidim came and testified. How could you say at that time and that date and that place you saw how Reuben killed Shimon b'Shegeg? You were in that time and that day you were with us elsewhere. So we don't say that the Eidim Zevimim who were caught to be Muzam should take the place of whom they attempted to put in Golas, that they should go to Golas. Rather they get Malchus. It should have said how Eidim do not become Zevimim, because normally Kasha by Eidim Zevimim, you have to do Vasisam Loi, Kasha Zamim, like they attempted to do to that person. That's what happens to them. And in these two cases that the Mishnah brought down, we're giving two cases where we don't do what we don't punish them we don't punish the Eidim who are Muzam with the same punishment that they attempted to the one that they accused. So it should have said how Eidim do not become Zevimim. Hey, then even more so, you ask Eidim Nasim Zevimim, and you don't even specify how Eidim becomes Zevimim. We learn it. We learn later on Daf Hey. If the second set of Eidim said to the first set of Eidim, Hey Chatam Eidim, how could you testify about this incident? Shebei Segayim, that same day, complaining you were with us in another place. That's the case of Zevimim. So the Cheda, our mission doesn't even specify what are Eidim Zevimim. We just learned it on Daf Hey. So why do we start off with Ketzah Eidim Nasim Zevimim? And for the Gemara Tana Hasim Koi, the Tana of our Mishnah is a hemshech, is continuing the Mishnah of the last Pedic of Pedic Elohein Hanechnakim. And there it starts off saying, Kol Hazemim Magdim Lois HaMisa. All Eidim Zevimim, we punish them with the Misa that they attempted to do to the accused, who they accused. Chutz Mezevimei Bas Kayin, except for a case where two Eidim testified about a Bas Kayin who was married, that she was Mezana, so in that with a specific man. So the woman, a Bas Kayin who was caught that she was Mezana as Eishes Ish, is Chayiv Seifa, and the man gets Chenek There, Shei Magdim Loisa Misa. So if the two Eidim who testified that she was Mazana were Muslim, we're not going to give them the punishment that she was supposed to get safer, which is more harsh punishment. Rather, we give chenek. Number one, why don't we give sefer? Because that we learn now from the pasuk. It says he mechalas b'eshti sarif. It says he to sarif. Only she gets sefer. No, not Eidim Zaymen. And why do we give the punishment of chenek? Because kasha zaman lasses loy la'achiv. La'achiv gets chenek, and that's why they get chenek. Says we don't give the misa of sefer that they attempted to give this isha ela lemisa acheres. Rather, we give a different misa meaning chenek. Yeah, so that's one case where the Mishnah Eloheinu Hanechnakim says that they don't get exactly kasha zaman. Yes, meaning they don't get the exact misa, they get a different misa. Yes, there's another type of Eidim Zayimim, says the Mishnah, a second case that they don't get anything, anything close to it in that category. Rather, with the Ella Malchus Habayim, rather they only get Malchus Habayim. Ketzat, what's that case? Eidim testified that they had seen how the mother, when she got married to his father, she was a gerusha. They remember her getting divorced, and then they were Muslim, or that she was a chalutza, and these first Eidim who testified that she was a gerusha or chalutza when she got married, and he's a chalol. If the first Eidim were Muslim, we don't make them a ben gerusha ben chalutza into a chalol. Rather, they get Malchus Habayim. So since it's a hemshech, that's why he gave these two cases. It says we should have said Keitza Eina Eidim Nasim Zayimim. No, we're starting Keitza Eidim Nasim Zayimim. That's how we start the Perek, because it's not the further part of the Mishnah is just the saying the hemshech of the last Perek. But Keitza Eidim Nasim Zayimim, he's going to get back to like on Daf Hey and continue how Eidim becomes Zayimim. That's what the Ritva explains. From where do we learn this out? Meaning that you don't give them kasha zamam. The Eidim who are Muslim, you don't make them into the Eidim into chalalim to say they become a ben gerusha ben chalutza. I'm Rabbi Shimon ben Levi, or I'm Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Makos says in the pasuk, "V'asisim loy kasha zamam loy v'loy zari." When it says kasha zamam, that you punish the Eidim Zayimim only like to him. We punish him, but not his children. In fact, you might have, and over here, if you're going to make him a chalol, these Eidim Zayimim chalolim, then the children will be chalolim, and the Torah says only kasher zaman lasses loy. We only do to him, not his children. In fact, you might have let's passel just the father to become a chalol, not the children. And if you want to be in a kasha zaman lasses, you have to do like the Eidim, the first Eidim attempted to do. They try to make him a chalal, and automatically his children would have been chalalim too. The leka, and over here it's not going to be kasha zaman, because if you're only going to punish him to become a chalal and not his children, then it's not being kasha zaman. Bapada gives a different makar. He says a kavachayma with a kavachayma ma machalayim is chalal maduch a koyin who actually married a gerusha and was mechalal his children. He made his children chalalim. He doesn't become a chalal. He himself, who made his children chalalim, doesn't become a chalal. Abol chalal, somebody who attempted to make a chalal, like the Eidim Zayimim, but v'lo chilal, and they didn't succeed, and he didn't actually become a chalal. And it didn't shaloi chalal for sure. The Eidim shouldn't become chalalim. Just if the father would have been a kohen who married a chalal and made his son, he actually made his son into a chalal, we don't say the father automatically becomes a chalal. Somebody only attempted to make somebody a chalal, for sure he shouldn't become a chalal. Ravina said, going with that concept and came, but you're being mevat the whole din of Eidim Zayimim. Because who was matzliach to bring his chava to skila, and he got skila before the Edom came and were mazim the first Edom. We say that the Edom Zaymimim do not get skila. Somebody only attempted to get this person to have skila, and the Edom Zaymim came before, so he was unable to. He wasn't successful in making this person be chayiv skila. So v'lo meaning that he didn't get the skila because the Edom Zaymim came first. And they didn't shouldn't the din be for sure that the Edom Zaymim shouldn't get skila? Of course, shouldn't they shouldn't get skila. So that's how you'll be mevatel the whole concept of Edom Zaymim because of a kavachema. When the Edom Zaymim succeeded to make that this person should get skila, and only afterwards the Edom Zaymim came, which is kasha asa. The Torah says only kasha zaman, like kasha asa. It was already done, and you say that the Edom Zaymim do not get skila. The first Edom who false Edom don't get skila, even though they killed somebody with skila. So you should say for Edom who attempted to bring somebody to skila, and they didn't succeed because the Edom came and were mazim them before they can give this guy skila for sure. Even though they were caught with the intention to kill somebody, but they didn't actually kill him, for sure shouldn't get skila. So that's the whole case of Edom Zaymim. So with this kavachem, you can be mavat the whole concept of Edom Zaymim. What are you right? Rather, we're going to go like that was said in the name of Rabbi Shimon Levi. The marker is that since it says kasha zaman loy, meaning kasha zaman could only be him and not his children, and therefore, we don't make the Edom into chalalim because if you're going to make the Edom into chalalim, their children will be chalalim, and you're punishing more than him. You're punishing the children also. And from kasha zaman loy, we learn out only him and not his children. You can't use hazam for it can be a punishment that will extend to his children as well. We learned in the Mishnah, Edom testify about a person that is chayv in galus, meaning they testify how they saw Reuben kill Shimon b'Shegeg, and they wanted to send him to galus, and then they were muzam. These Edom were caught liars. We don't say that the Edom Zaymim should take his place and go to galus. Rather, they get malchus. Where do we look from? Where do we learn this out? Because it says in the pasuk where somebody kills b'Shegeg, who yonas alachos harim, he will run to one of the cities of miklat, of refuge. Who? Only the one that actually killed b'Shegeg. But lo Zaymim, but not Zaymim. That's a miyah. Rabbi Yochanan says the makar he has is a kavachema. What's the kavachema? Ma'u shasa ma'isa ma'adach, where the killer actually did avera b'ma'isa. If he did it b'ma'isa, negila, he's not going to be chayv galus. The Torah wasn't going to give a punishment of galus for somebody who killed b'Shegeg and not b'mezid. And again, the Torah was the Torah was only going to somebody who killed b'Shegeg to go to galus, not b'mezid. But if somebody actually did it b'mezid, but he didn't get a warning from the bezdin, so he doesn't get misa, nor does he go to galus. Hein, the Edom Zaymim who also did it b'mezid, but shalai yasa ma'isa. They didn't do an action. They didn't actually kill him. They did b'mezid. They attempted with their testimony to kill a person, but they didn't actually kill. But their testimony was talking b'mezid. And they did for sure. They shouldn't go to galus. Madach, where somebody actually killed b'mezid without asa, he doesn't go to galus. Edom, who only testified, they didn't do the ma'isa of hariga. For sure, they shouldn't go to galus. In fact, you want to be it's just the opposite. That's the reason they should go to galus, because the din who shows a ma'isa, one who actually did a ma'isa b'mezid by killing, so b'mezid legally. If he did it b'mezid, he doesn't deserve to go to Galus. Like to have like kapara, because he shouldn't be forgiven. Only David should punish him min hashamayim, in misa b'dei shamayim. He shouldn't be. It shouldn't be just a kapara by going to Galus. But by they didn't do an action, but they did it b'mezin with the intent to send him to Galus. Not illegal. They should also go to Galus. So that it should be a kapara. So that's not. So we can't use this kavachema. Allah machvata. Rather, we're going to go back to the first reason. First makar. The reason why he's not going to be chayav galus because it says who yanashama who, only the one that actually killed the mezid, only the one that actually killed B'Shegya, he goes to galus, but not the Eidim Zayman. Amma says remez. We have a remez la Eidim Zayman min atir b'nayim. The remez for the punishment of Eidim Zayman min atir. From where do we learn this out? So the Gemara says Ramaz la'edim zaymim. What are you asking? Ramaz for the punishment of edim zaymim. It's an open pasuk in the Varim. As is like Hashem Zamam, you should do to them like the edim attempted to do who they accused. Allah only what's the kavanah? Ramaz la'edim zaymim shall loikim in atar b'nayim. Where is the Ramaz that edim zaymim, if you can't fulfill Kasha Zamam, that they get or by Eidei Gerush Eidei Galus, that they get Malchus, if you can't fulfill the Kasha Zaman like we had by the Eidei Ben Gerusha or Eidei Galus, that how do we know that they get Malchus? Where's the Adamus for that? It says in the pasuk where there will be argument between two people and they'll be brought to court. It's dikus Hatzadik is Rasha, and the Daim will be Matzdik, the Tzadik, and the Rasha will be guilty. Rasha. And the Rasha will get Malchus. Says the Gemara, so every place where Bezdin makes the tzaddik righteous and his chava guilty, the Rasha gets automatically Malchus. Surely it's not so. You have to explain the pasuk a different way. I mean, you didn't have to say it's just a Rasha. It should have been partial. He should have said as simple lashon. He should have said, what do you have to this whole extra words? What do we need it for? Says the Gemara, it's talking about over here, Allah. It's talking about Edom. The Chatchila came, false Edom came, and they made a tzaddik guilty. Also, Edom Achinei, and then second pair of Edom were Mazim, the first Edom. Tzaddik, and they made the tzaddik, the Meikara, the one that was tzaddik Meikara, they made him back to tzaddik. And the second pair of Edom, they were Mazim, and the first Edom, they made Mazim, the first Edom, V'shavinu lahani Rishayim, and they made the first Edom into the Rishayim. So since they made the first Edom Rishayim, this is how you learn the pasuk. It's Tzaddik, as tzaddik. They were Matzdik the tzaddik, who the first Edom made him into a Rasha, who were Mashiach the tzaddik. So the second Edom were Matzdik the tzaddik, and who did they make into the Rishayim? They made Shavinu lahani Rishayim. They made the first Edom into the Rishayim. And what does the pasuk finish off? So that's the remez that Edom Zaymamim get Malchus if you can't do Kasha Zamam. In fact, let us learn out the remez from Loisana. It says you're not a Loisana be'acha eichak. You're not allowed to say false vaye. This is a Loisasa. It's a lav, and by a lav, a stam lav is Malchus. So why don't we say we learn out what do we need what do we need this remez from Vayim bin Hakis? Because it's a lav in which there's no action. It's all dibur. So therefore, since it's dibur, chol lav shein by ma'is ain't looking at lav. Any lav that there's no ma'is in it, you don't get malchus on it. And that's why we can't learn it out from Loisana. And we have to come on to the remez of Vitzdikas Hatzadik V'Yeshiyas HaRasha V'Hayim in Hakis. Four things were said by Edom Zegmen. Number one, they don't become the Edom Zegmen, do not become a Ben Gerush Ben Chalutz, and they, if they testified on somebody who killed B'Shegeg, and they were caught to be liars, they don't go to Gullus. Rather, they get Malchus. If they lied about a Shoy Mu'ed, that a person Shoy Mu'ed killed for the third time a person, because the first three times they didn't catch him, they didn't catch the Shoy to give him skilla, but the fourth time they caught him. So then, if it's the fourth time that he killed a person, then aside from the animal getting skilla, he has to pay koifa. He has to pay money for the value of the person that he killed. And another case is that if they lied about a person that he stole a lot of money, and being that he didn't have money, he had to be sold as Aved Ivni in order to pay back the Geneva. That's the halacha. The Bezdin sells him as Aved Ivni in order to pay back the Chayiv. So the Geneva, so Mishum Rabbi Akiva, Af Ein Mishalmim Alpi Haidos Hatzman. And they also don't pay Alpi Haidos Hatzman, meaning that if they were caught to be Edom Zegmen one Bezdin, and before Bezdin gave up Psak, they ran to another Bezdin and admitted that they're Edom Zegmen, so then they don't pay Kasha Zama. So these are four cases that don't pay Kasha Zama. And now the Gemara is going to give the reasoning for each one. Ein Nas Ben Gerush Ben Chalutza, that the Edom who are caught lying, attempting to make a person a Chalol, they don't become Chalol in Kedamar, because it says Loi, Loi Kasha Zama, Loi, only Loi, but Loi Lazari. Miklat Kedamar. And they don't. The Edom that were caught lying, attempting to make somebody go to Gullus, they don't go to Gullus, like we said, because it says who Yonos. Only the actual killer goes to Gullus, and not Edom's anywhere. Now, this that they don't pay kaifer, we said if Edom testified that this person Shemud killed for a fourth time a person, and they want to be mechayvim kaifa, he doesn't pay kaifa. The Edom Zegmen don't. If they were caught to be liars, the Edom Zegmen, they don't pay kaifa. Kesafri kufra kapara, because they hold a kufra paying the kaifa for the person that the animal killed is a kapara, because this person didn't watch his shayr, and really he should have been chay misbedei shamayim. So therefore he pays kaifa. But these Edom Zegmen are not shaykh to kapara. They didn't. Their shayr didn't kill anybody to say that they should need a kapara. In fact, Tana kufra kapara. Who's the Tana that holds kufra as a kapara? So Amar Rav Chizah said Rabbi Shmuel b'Neish Rabbi Yechon Breika. Rabbi Shmuel, the son of Rabbi Yechon Breika. The Tanya that we learned in the Braisa, it says in the Torah b'Negeit in the Tashma of Kefa. Menosan pidyon nafshay. The Baal HaShoyer has to give a redemption of his soul. What's the kavanah of the pasuk? That the Baal HaShoyer should pay the main nizik, the worth of the person that was killed. Rabbi Shmuel ben Neish, Rabbi Yechon ben Breika, the main mazik, he has to pay the worth of him of himself. The owner of the shoyer has to pay what he's worth. Is it or not? This is what they're arguing. The Tanakh that says you pay according to the nizik's worth holds kufr is mamaina, is a mamin, is a nazi. You did a damage, you paid the worth of the damage. Ma'asaba kufr kapara. Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yechon ben Breika holds that kafir is to forgive the Baal HaShoyer. That's why he pays his worth, because it's a kapara. He needs a kapara because officially he should be chayv misbedei shamayim, because he was negligent in watching his ox. He didn't watch his ox, and that's why the ox killed this person. So really, he should have been chayv misbedei shamayim by paying the worth of himself. He's redeeming himself. So the Gemara shlugs up. Amar Papa Loi. There's no hech to say, and this is what they're arguing. Really, the Kuli Yama Kufar Kapara. Really, everybody holds that kufra is a forgiveness, a redemption for the Baal Asher. And this is what they're arguing about. Masabin is Shaminan. One Tana holds, the Tanakama holds that we evaluate the kapara according to the worth of the nizik. Masabin and Bishmal says, Kibid the Mazik Shaminan, that we evaluate the kapara, the schema of the kapara according to the worth of the Baal Asher, the Mazik himself, the Baal Asher. What's the reasoning of the Tanakama? If it's a kapara, he should pay for the worth of himself to redeem himself. So the Gemara, the Chacham Dashin, never Ashos Lamata. In the pasuk, I'm paying koifer by a shayamud that killed somebody. It says the lashon im koifer yushas alav. It says the lashon hashasim, and never Ashos Lamayla. And also Benegayat paying the Mevla days, where one who gored a pregnant woman and caused it that she should miscarry, she should lose her children. So there it says kasher yashis alav bala isha. So there it says also lashna shasa. So therefore we say ma lahalan, just like when where the woman who lost the vlades, the mazik pays the worth of the vlades. That's the worth of the nizik. So by the nizik, according to the worth of the nizik, according to the Mei Vlades. Khan, so too by the kaifa of a shayamud, where the owner of the shayr was negligent and for the fourth time, and it killed a person. So there we go according to the value of a nizik. It's a gzeira shavah. Shmuel, the son of Rabbi Yechon says, I mean, why doesn't he dash in that way? Well, there's Gzeira Shava Emily. What because it says V'nasam Pidyon Nafshoyiksiv. In the pasuk it says B'Pedish, he has to give a redemption of his soul, of the Baal Hasher's soul, the Mazik soul, and that's why we go according to with the Mazik Shabino. Rabbanon. So l'chayr, how the Rabbanon going to answer on this pasuk Pidyon Nafshe? He says here the Rabbanon answer in Pidyon Nafshe. It's not a redemption of his soul, but Miu, how does he do the redemption of the soul? Kishaminam, when we evaluate the koifa, the kapara for his soul, is b'den shaminam. We go according to the nizik's body who's dead, the worth of what he would have been worth. We learned in the Mishnah, in the Braisa, one of the cases was that if they testified against the person that he stole so much money and he had to be sold as a Avadivri, and these Eidim came out to be lies, we don't make them into Avadim Ivrim. Thought to say, the day. When do we say these words in the Braisa that the Eidim Geneva who were Muzam don't get sold as Avadim, is only in a place where the people who the person who they testified, I'm sorry, the Edom that testified, the Edom that are lies that testified have money. The Migadi like is dabim, because he wouldn't have been sold as a Eved, because if he had money, he would have redeemed himself. So they too, the Edom Zevimim, shouldn't get sold as avadim. If they have money, they should be able to redeem themselves. Just like the one who they accused, if he would have had money, he would have been able to redeem himself. But in a place where the one who was being accused didn't have any money, so the only thing that it could have been done to him was that he would have to be sold for his geneva. Even though they didn't have money, mizdabno, they still get sold as avodim. That's what we thought to say. Again, we said hani mila hechadis lately today is only if the ganav had money, the one that they accused had money to redeem himself, and he didn't. So we say, listen, if he could have, just like he could have used this money not to be sold. So too, the Eidim who have money shouldn't be sold. But if the one who they accused had no money, and the only thing that could happen to him is to be sold, so even though the Eidim who are accused have money, or the false Eidim have money to redeem themselves, they're going to get sold as Avadim. Says he want to know, but let the Eidim say to the Nidin, if you would have money to pay for the Gneva, would have you been sold? Surely not. Us too shouldn't be sold. Says you want to rather Ravnuna thought to say like this. When did the Brisa say that the Eidim Gneva are not sold as Avodim? The false Eidim who testify don't get sold as Avodim. Where they both parties have money, or either party has money, meaning either the accused one has money to redeem himself, or the Eidim have money. So then we don't say that the Eidim become Avodim. But what's the case when neither party had money to redeem themselves? Then for sure he does get sold. The Eidim who are false Eidim, who accused another person who also didn't have money, and the Eidim themselves don't have money, do get sold as Avodim. Rava said to he shlugs up. The Gemara shlugs up. Words of Rav Nuna says, Rava said to Rav Nuna, it says, the Torah says, a person gets sold only if in his Geneva that he actually stole and he doesn't have money to pay back. That's where he gets sold as Evid. But like this mommy, not if he attempted to, not if there were false Eidim who attempted to make a person get sold for false testimony. In the name of Rabbi Akiva, they said even Eidim don't pay if they were murder before Bezin gave the psak and ran to another Bezin, and they were murder that they were Eidim, they don't pay kasha zoma. In fact, what am I telling Rabbi Akiva? What's the reason of Rabbi Akiva? So it's Gemara Kasava Knasu, because Rabbi Akiva holds that the geda of kasha zoma is a knas. Uknas ain't not meshama piyatzmai, and knas. If a person is murder, he does. If he's murder before the psak din, he doesn't pay knas. Murder with knas is potter. Amar Rabba said, I'll bring you a raya that the punishment of Eidim Zayimim is a knas. Sharei hein lo yasa ma'isa, because they themselves, the Eidim Zayimim, didn't do any ma'isa, they just testified. Eidim nefashis, that they attempted to kill somebody before Bezdin killed the Nidai. So they didn't actually kill him, right? Nevertheless, we kill them. They get killed. So you see, it's a knas. Or if they testified that that this guy owes money to another person, they attempted to make a person lose money, and at the end he didn't pay anything. Nevertheless, the Eidim Zayimim Mishalmim have to pay, even though the person who they accused didn't lose a penny. The Eidim Zayimim have to pay him the money. So you see, it's beferish haknas. Amar Rav Nachman Teda Araya Sharei b'mamin b'yad bailim, because it says by Eidim Mamin that were Muslim on the money that they tried to make this bailim lose is still found by the bailim u'mishalmim, that they pay. So since they pay, even though the person who they accuse still has the money, so you see it's beferish haknas. In fact, you want to mind Neo, what's this svara that Rav Nachman said? Mamin b'yad bailim u'mishalmim. It's the exact same thing as the previous answer. The loy asa ma'isa. The previous answer is that they didn't do an action, meaning the nidain didn't pay. Didn't pay till the Eidim, the second pair of Eidim were Mazim the first Eidim, so he became Potter, and nevertheless the Eidim Zayim are chayav to pay. So you say Hainu the Rabba. It's exactly the same svara as Rabba. And you want to aim of Chain Omer Rav Nachman, rather say so too. Rav Nachman said the same thing. But it's not, the kavanah wasn't to add something. Rav Nachman, the kavanah wasn't to bring b'shem Rav Nachman an additional svara on Rabbah. Rather to say that Rav Nachman, he said like the svara of Rabbah.